Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2019 movie Sleeping with My Student. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we are taken to 2002, where we see a couple in a car with their little baby in the back seat. The woman named June is screaming at the top of her lungs at her husband as they are having an argument. Their baby is crying, but they choose to ignore that and keep fighting. The father, named Felix Johnson, is also angry at his wife June, and as they argue, June is pissed because she has gotten to learn that her husband has been having an affair with a woman with whom she is familiar. Felix, however, goes on to deny these accusations. The woman now loses her cool. She is told to have some mental issues, and she is not able to control her anger any longer. She grabs the steering wheel, and the next thing we know, their car is crashed and Johnson is dead after hitting his head. The scene then changes to 17 years later, where we see three female friends named Kathy, Megan, and Stacy having fun on their weekend at a hotel. Kathy has recently been promoted to the role of principal in her school, so her friend has brought her out at a very fancy hotel near the beach. The women are nicely dressed up and they are having wine in a fancy room. It is revealed that Kathy is a single mother, as she has been divorced by her husband and lives with her teenage daughter named Bree. When they are partying, the AC in their room starts giving them problems, so they call the hotel staff in the room to repair the AC. A young but handsome boy named Ian shows up at their door and they let him come in to fix the AC. He fixes it right away and the women check out the handsome and charming boy. They start hitting on him despite the fact that he is just 15. Kathy later goes on to wear a very sexy and revealing dress and sits near the pool at the hotel. She is about to go in for a swim when Ian notices her and he likes what he sees. She might be a mother, but she's still very hot, so he approaches her right away. They start talking and Ian tries to impress her, but it does not seem like it is working. He then goes on to jump in the pool. He wants Kathy to join him, and when she declines, he goes underwater and seems like he is drowning. Kathy used to be a lifeguard in college, so she jumps in to save him. He laughs and tells her he likes to sit underwater to clear his head. He then says Kathy is hot and they go up to her room together. Ian puts the moves on her and Kathy is very hesitant. She tells him that she does not like hooking up with young boys just like that, but he is very persuasive and he ends up talking her into it. The next thing we see, they're doing it. Ian and Kathy share a wild, steamy hormone sandwich. They spend the night together, and when Kathy wakes up the next morning, she sees that Ian is already gone and he has left a flower for her. Kathy then gets together with her friends again as they get out of there. Later it is revealed that Ian does not work at that hotel. An intern at the hotel is his friend and he was just filling in for that friend just for one night. Ian has Bree's picture in her hand and he goes on to say that this girl is very special to him. Ian goes home and we learn that he lives with his mother and stepdad, with whom his relationship is not really that good. He does not get along with his dad at all, and we learn that his stepdad happens to be a drug supplier as well. We then see his mother, who is often sick, and Ian does his best to take care of his mother as he loves her the most. Kathy is back at her place and she is getting ready to go to school. She will be taking over as the principal, so it is her first day as that, and her daughter Bree is also ready to go with her. We learn that Bree is an introvert and does not have any friends. It is revealed that in her previous schools all the kids used to bully her, and that has affected her badly. Ever since then, she feels really uncomfortable whenever she has to meet new people. Just as they get to school, Kathy goes on to see Ian and she is shocked to see him there, but before she is able to get a hold of him, he just disappears into the crowd. Kathy then thinks that she might be wrong. It could be very much another boy who looks like him. Kathy goes to her office while Bree makes her way to her new class. The teacher has already started the lecture when Ian gets there. We learn that it's Ian's first day at this school too. Ian then goes to sit in the seat parallel to Bree and they get to introduce themselves to each other. When the class is over, Bree makes her way to the art gallery to look at some painting when she is approached by three students named Leslie, Gina, and Steve. Steve is Leslie's boyfriend, and the three of them try to talk nicely to Bree as they want to be friends with her. They want to include her in their group because she is the daughter of the principal. They want to take her into confidence because they want to become cheerleaders. Bree tells them that she will ask her mother and get back to them on this, and as she speaks, she stammers a lot. Steve starts laughing at her when he is approached by Ian, who goes on to give him some shit for making fun of Bree's speech impediment. Steve and the two popular girls of the school, Leslie and Gina, are joined by Kathy. They then ask Kathy if they can take Bree to a pizza party with them. Kathy allows them to take her. They go out to have pizza when they talk about Ian. Gina goes on to tell Leslie that she once dated Ian and that she knows him from a party, but they broke up a long time ago. Bree is then joined outside by Ian, who is really nice to her, and she is weirded out by that because she is used to getting bullied when it comes to handsome boys. She asks him why he is being nice to her because no one has ever been nice to her. The next day, when Ian and Bree enter the class together, Kathy is also there and she is talking to Gina. When Kathy sees Ian there, she almost panics because she is hooked up with a boy who is a student at the school where she herself is the principal. Kathy goes to her officer right away and asks her assistant to fill her up on Ian, and she gets to know that Ian is a very dangerous boy. His records from the previous are not impressive at all. Kathy learns that Ian happens to have some anger issues and tends to get violent as well. He had many such incidents at his previous school. Kathy is now worried about it. She does not know how to face Ian, so she goes on to call her friend Megan and tells her to come to her place right away. When Kathy is about to leave, she sees that Ian is sitting with her daughter, so she takes her away from him. When they are in the car, she goes on to tell her daughter that she is not allowed to talk to Ian anymore, adding that he is not a good boy. She then tells Bree Ian's background as well. She makes it clear to her innocent daughter that Ian can be dangerous for her. Bree, however, refuses to listen to her mother because in the very first time in her life, she has found someone who treats her with this much respect. When they get home that day, Kathy goes on to send her daughter out with her ex-husband named Ben so that she is able to find a solution for the problem she is facing. Ben takes Bree to a restaurant where Ian comes as he has been following Bree. He goes on to talk to her while her dad is in the restroom. When Ben comes out, he asks Ian who is he, and he respectfully introduces himself and leaves. When they are done with their outing, Ben comes home to drop Bree and talks to Kathy. He tells her about Ian too, and Kathy gets worried. She tells him that Ian is not a good boy and she has no idea what he is trying to do by chasing her daughter. That night, Kathy comes up with a plan. She goes to the school, finds a big dagger, and puts it inside Ian's locker. The next morning, she orders an announcement to be made and the students are told that their lockers will be searched. When they look into Ian's locker, they find the dagger that Kathy put there. She has now found an excuse to call him into her office, and when he comes, she asks him why he has been doing all this. We then learn that Ian has been tracking Bree in her life through her social media account. The girl puts everything on social media, so it's easy for Ian to stalk her and get to know what she is up to. He tells her that he was at the hotel that night according to his plan, and he found all the information on Kathy through Bree's social media account. Ian then goes on to tell Kathy that he even videotaped her when they were doing it at the hotel, and Kathy is horrified to see that. He then goes on to tell her that he needs $50K or else everyone is going to watch her having a wild, steamy hormone sandwich with a teenager. He tells her that she is a smart woman, so she would of course want to save her social life because she is a very well-respected woman. He tells her that if she pays him the money, he will leave Bree alone too. Kathy tells him not to do anything stupid, adding that if this video goes viral, he too could end up in jail. Kathy tries to get on the same page with Ian, but he does not want to listen to anything. He tells her to get the money ready as soon as possible, or he is going to ruin her and her daughter's life. Kathy, however, refuses to give him the money. She does not trust him at all and goes on to say that she knows he is not going to stop blackmailing her even if she gives him the money, so she has decided not to give him even a penny. She goes on to call in the guards and tells them to kick him out of the school. That day, Gina goes on to follow Ian to his house, and when Ian is in there, he ends up getting into a fight with his dad. He loses his cool and goes on to stab his dad, but lightly. He decides that he is going to kill, but this is when Gina shows up at his house. He goes on to ask her what she is doing there, and she tells him she wants to get in a relationship with him, adding that she really likes him. He is, however, really angry because Gina has interrupted what he was about to do to his stepdad. He tells Gina to get out of there and violently follows her to her car. He then picks up a baseball bat and breaks the window of her car. He tells her to get the hell out of there, adding that he does not care about anyone except his mother and daughter. She is really scared and traumatized. She barely manages to make it out of there alive. He then makes his way back into the house and finds his stepdad crawling on the floor. He picks up the baseball bat again and brutally beats his stepdad to death. His mother is in her room. He goes to her and tells her to stay put for a few days, adding that he will be back for her soon. He then sneaks into the school to talk to Bree. He tells her to go with him so that he is able to blackmail Kathy again. Kathy learns that her daughter is not at the school. Gina then tells her that she went out with Ian. Kathy right away calls Bree, but Ian picks up the phone telling her to pay him up or she is going to regret it. Ian tells her that if she dared calling the police, then he is going to hurt her daughter real bad. Kathy panics. She right away calls Megan for help. Both of them right away arrange the money after Kathy explains everything to her. In the meantime, we see Ian, who is driving away with Bree in his car. She asks him where he is taking her and why he is behaving so weirdly. Ian tells Bree that her mother is a whore. Bree is scared and confused. Ian shows Bree his gun and says that she is his little sister and he has to protect her. We learn that the little boy who was crying in the car at the start of the movie was actually Ian, and his dad had an affair with Kathy, and out of that affair, Bree was born. He blames Kathy for killing his father because his dad's affair with Kathy led June to do what she did that night, and then she just went into depression, and she has been like that ever since. He reveals that Kathy ruined his and his mother's life. He tells Bree his whole plot and admits to sleeping with Kathy. Bree kicks him in the face and runs off. Kathy and Megan meet Ian and Bree at the drop-off point. Megan stays in the car and will call the police in 10 minutes in case Kathy does not show up. Kathy goes inside and tells Ian to take it easy and demands him to let Bree go. Kathy owns up to having an affair, having sex with Ian, and lying to Bree about who her father was. Kathy makes excuses and apologies, but Bree feels betrayed by her own mother. Ian is about to shoot Bree and Kathy. Kathy tackles Ian and they fall out of a second-story window. Kathy survives the fall, but Ian dies. In the last scene of the movie, we see Kathy, Bree, and Ben living together. Their life is going great while Ian's mother is left alone, and with that, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.